Good day. Hope everybody out there is having a good one. If it's your first time to the channel, boy, are you in for a treat, because we're into finding new music from all around the world. And what we do is we follow people's suggestions rather than following algorithms, because algorithms are never going to show you the wide variety and all the... Then it's not going to broaden your horizons the way that people can and point you in all the awesome directions. We've been enlightened so much musically here on this channel, so find any music and all that's what you're into. Maybe hit the subscribe button, take a look around and all that. And I would add, we're also in 21 different languages right now, some of which you can also hear audio. So if you go down to the corner thing, this corner, that corner right there, go to that corner, hit the thing, you can hit the closed caption and go to the settings, set it to your country, and you might even have the ability to hear me speaking in your language. Pretty neat. So I'll be talking about that some more new features that will be coming to the channel, as well as being able to actually talk to you in the comments and stuff like that, and how we can do all that type of stuff. But yeah, for right now, let's talk about this gentleman. If you don't know who this gentleman is, boy, you're in for a treat, because this is Mr. Paco De Lucia. He is when you talk about, the best guitarists in the world, or the greatest of all time, the GOATs or whatever, Paco is right at the top of the list. And for a lot of reasons, he has really given way to not only a lot of artists and their careers, but he has steered and carved, flamenco, and otherwise revived it. And I'm not going to say single-handedly, but damn near. And he's really revered for a very good reason. He has his own playlist here on the channel even. So if you want to take the shorthand version and get linked up with all sorts of vids. But right here today, this is one we have we've watched this show. A couple from this show. But this is Zyryab. If I'm remembering correct, I think I have heard this one, and I've never seen it live, but here we go. This is Paco De Lucia Company, live in Seville. Bringing a lot of the Arab type feel into this. Love it. And that's the thing with Paco's music. It has a lot of deep history involved. Spain has a lot of deep, rich history involved. Love it. See, it's very Arab. Love it. Shirt too. I think I've said that. Nice. Oh my! People really bringing their A game. You can sit on stage with Paco. You better be ready to deliver. See the conversation going on? such a cool chord progression. Like I said, there's so much history to be had, just Paco's music alone. It really tells the story of, Andalusia. The trials and tribulations. Yep. That's all that's done. Circle. The way they switch back is That's crazy. Dude. Oh, man. That was awesome. Yeah. Jesus. That, my friends, is greatness right there. Gracias. No, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Yeah. We'll warm up there under them lights. Didn't have the first option. That is so awesome. Just look, he's a very, like, what's one thing I've learned about, Paco is, very, very humble, person. He doesn't have, he didn't have like the view of himself the way other people did, which, that's the thing that makes you stay humble, and that's what it's the sign of, a good person, a true person, a person that's grounded and not, head in the clouds and, thinking they're all that and all that, because that can really be your downfall, is thinking that, oh, I'm, just the best at all this stuff. And now it turns out you're not really that good at nothing at all. And, these three I've seen together. I think we've done like 2 or 3 other videos of them. Never this tune. And what is very distinct about with, can't get that, Jesus. With anything you hear like flamenco, when you hear it on the album, it's the song, but you're always gonna get, from my experience, you're always gonna get way more of that. It's like, here's the song, but that's the core song, but here's us having fun playing that song. And it's the only way, and like flamenco is kind of like, it's like no two shows are alike. No, you're never going to see the same performance again. And that's why we're lucky to have any of this stuff that's recorded live in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, you'll find on this channel, there's some stuff we are really lucky to have. Like the fact that, something that old made it all the way to YouTube, all the steps that have to be taken to get it onto YouTube. And, really got to be thankful for stuff like that. And I also would add, speaking of, this song really having, more of a, like I was saying, like an Arab feel, and it kind of like, shows more off of the, gypsy aspect, and kind of when you dig deeper into the history, you start learning where the Andalusian population, and their whole way of life and all that, and looking at that history, and there's some stuff going on in the world right now, and I'm not going to lecture or even talk about it. We know this thing's always going on in the world, but I would just say that we do tend to take for granted The fact that like we have channels like this where we can explore music and we can sit and we can talk about it, and it's much deeper meaning. The history of that, we have the freedom to be able to do that. We still live in a time where there are places that they don't have that kind of freedom, or at least they didn't. And it's very easy to, and this is why, when you look at the history of Spain, and the populations moving within and out of it and the reasons why, then you start to understand. And the way that they choose to express themselves the most is the most outwardly you can be. Now, what that tells me is that long ago, these were a people that, in some way, shape, or form, were really repressed and not allowed to do those things. So when they had the chance to do it, they really let loose. And, that is a really simplified kind of analogy. But it's, people do take for granted the fact that we are so easily, we have all this song and dance at our fingertips, and yet we still live in a world where there's people that can't, there's women that aren't allowed to show their face, or so we take those things for granted. And Spain kind of leans into that history, and flamenco leans into that history. And like I said, I'm not gonna, it's very kind of, it's got a little bit of a sense of irony to it, and especially when you hear a song like this. And like I said, do some digging. And we've talked about some of the history of flamenco. We're going to go a lot deeper, and we're going to be talking about other kinds of music. We don't just stay in Andalusia. There's Celtic music, there's different folk music, Sephardic folk. There's just a lot of stuff to cover. So, this year we're going to be covering a lot of that. So definitely, if you're into that and you want to help out and point the way and all that, please, I would, really appreciate any suggestions of songs that really, and that's the thing too, is I want people to be able to to come here and have a conversation, or be able to find new musics or stuff that they otherwise wouldn't have ever found any other way. And I'm not just talking because maybe they weren't allowed to. I'm just saying because it's not going to come up in their feed. Because see, again, we take for granted that, we live here in America, we got all this music at our fingertips. It's not even a tenth of what there is to be had in the world scale. We mean nothing. Our cultural spot in music means absolutely dick all compared to everybody else, especially with Spain. And especially, there's just a lot of regions that this music has been around for hundreds, count them, hundreds of years. We can't even make genres last a decade. Now, again, oversimplifying things, I understand. And look, we've had country music for a long time, and I guess people, when they hear country music, they relate that with America. And I guess that would be our claim to fame. What a bummer. But still, I mean, there's a lot, that we have, grabbed from all around the world. All of our different metals and all this stuff is all inspiration from all around the world. That's where all this stuff, so, that's the thing. Is you gotta reach outside. You can't just depend on your inner world to connect you to that outer world of things, because it's, like I said, algorithms are only going to show you stuff within your language barrier or within your region even. So yeah, sometimes it takes a channel like this to say, hey, there's other music in other places. Just saying. So yeah, I would highly encourage you to please go check out Paco. If you're an aspiring guitarist, musician in any way, shape, or form, please go educate yourself about this man, his history, all that, and all of his friends, everybody that he's help bring into the fold, and everybody that he's inspired along the way, and then some. He's actually had a part over here with he was well, I think he's been in a couple of number one hits, but most notably he was for American charts I'm talking, but most notably was Brian Adams, the Love a Woman song there. The best part of the song, that's Paco. So yeah. And it's, a great example of, that stuff that, wow, what is that? And how come we don't have more of it? Exactly. And here it is. And found it. We got a bunch of them. We got playlists full of it. So yeah, whilst you're acquainting yourself with flamenco and Spain and all the awesome stuff, you're going to find that we got an awful lot. And you're also going to notice, I think you're going to notice that there's some bands from yesteryear that, I think they really came close to ripping off some of these artists. So they took a lot of inspiration, we'll say, from some of these artists. There's some bands, like Traffic Bread and stuff like that, that, remind me of other bands like Triana that we've covered here on the channel. And there's other bands, even going into like the Eagles and stuff like that. You can tell that they heard these bands. There's no way you can convince me otherwise. So yeah, just with their playing, I mean, you look at the band The Eagles alone, and there's a band. Then you got The Doors with Bobby Krieger. He was a student of flamenco. I mean, yeah, we could sit and talk about this forever. I'm not gonna bore you with all the stuff because we got other videos that go over all that stuff. But yeah, if this is your first introduction to flamenco, you got a whole playlist to dig into. You got a bunch of people to learn about. You got a whole country to admire and deep, rich history to dig into. And yeah, a lot of awesome stuff. And that's not all. We got stuff from Indonesia, Russia, all the surrounding Ukraine, Japan, the Philippines. I mean, the list goes on. Canada, it's everywhere. I mean, we're at this point we're thinking about just getting a map and putting a tag on every place that we've been getting music from, because wow. And rightfully, I would highly encourage you, if you are an aspiring guitarist, educate yourself with this gentleman, and I will leave you with that. Please, everybody, take a look around. Let me know what you think. And yeah, definitely, you can hear me in some languages now, and you can definitely read me in some languages. So that's awesome, and we'll be able to talk in the comments and stuff even. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up, and a lot of cool things that we'll be able to do here on the channel, and have a much bigger conversation. Other than the videos of me just talking at you, we could actually talk to each other in real time. So yeah, that'll be neat. Yeah, the future is now. But yes, have a great day, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe to all the YouTube things. Please follow the links and get educated with this awesome history and this awesome gentleman, and yeah, all of his awesome colleagues. And have an awesome day. See you in the next one.